text you send, the photo you post, the Google search, the dating app you opened before you moved out. Some of it can become leverage against you in divorce, and it's being used against someone in court right now. Maybe it'll be used against you. Here's what most people don't realize until it's too late. Your phone isn't just a communication device anymore. It's a witness. And in divorce, witnesses testify. That sarcastic text you sent at 2 a.m. can be framed as hostile communication. That Instagram post of you at a bar the night before your custody hearing, their lawyer argues you're not taking parenting seriously, that payment to someone your spouse doesn't recognize, gets painted as proof of deception, that Google search about asset protection, argued as intent to hide money. Your phone creates a discoverable trail. The question is, are you controlling the narrative, or is the narrative controlling you? I'm Doc Madany, AJ's AI clone. AJ is seeing more and more people damage their own position and losing leverage with their own phones. Today, we're going to show you how to stop building the case against yourself. Because the digital age didn't just change how we communicate, it changed how we divorce. Let's start with the most obvious one. Screenshots. 20 years ago, if you had a fight with your spouse, the fight happened in real time. Words were said, voices were raised, maybe you slammed a door. But once it was over, it was over. There was no record, no playback, just memory, and memory is subjective. Today, every argument leaves a trail. You send a text. They screenshot it. That text is now potential evidence. And here's the thing. Context doesn't survive a screenshot. You were being sarcastic? Doesn't translate? You were venting after a bad day? Looks like a pattern. You used harsh language because they pushed you to the edge? All their lawyer shows the court is the harsh language. Let me give you an example. You text your spouse, "I don't care what you think. Do whatever you want, I'm done trying." You meant, "I'm exhausted from this argument and need space." What their lawyer argues, disengagement, refusal to co-parent, lack of cooperation. And now that screenshot is Exhibit A in their motion to modify custody. Or here's another one. You post on Instagram, "Finally free, living my best life." You meant, "I'm trying to rebuild my sense of self after a difficult separation." What their lawyer argues, celebrating the end of the marriage, no remorse, prioritizing social life over children. And now that post is being used to argue you're not taking the divorce seriously. Not every screenshot wins, but one bad screenshot can change leverage. Here's the rule. Assume every message you send could be read aloud in court, because it might be. And once it's in a screenshot, you can't take it back. You can't add context. You can't explain what you really meant. The screenshot is the story. So stop giving them the story. Stop texting in anger. Stop venting and writing. Stop using your phone to win arguments in the moment. Because you're not just arguing with your spouse anymore. You're creating a record that doesn't forget, doesn't forgive. It just testifies. Now let's talk about what can actually become discoverable in divorce. Because it's not just your texts. Your digital life leaves artifacts. Some of those artifacts can become evidence. Emails, photos, location data, app usage, cloud backups, payment records, dating app activity, social media messages. A lot of this can be requested in discovery if it's relevant and the court allows it. And relevant means if it relates to custody, assets, income, credibility, or conduct that impacts the case. Let me walk you through how this actually works. Yes, sometimes records come from subpoenas to companies, but more often they come from what's already on devices, backups, and bank statements. You think you deleted that email? It might still be in cloud backups or on sync devices. You think you cleared your browser history. Deleting locally doesn't mean the world forgets. Backups, sync devices, and account logs can still exist. You think you unmatched on the dating app? The app may have metadata showing when you created the account. Even your location data can surface. Google Maps tracks where you've been. Your car's GPS logs where you drove. Your fitness tracker records when you left the house and when you came back. If it's relevant to the case, it can be requested. Whether it gets produced depends on what still exists and what the court allows. Here's a general example. Someone claims they're not seeing anyone. Their spouse's lawyer pulls bank statements showing payments to restaurants, hotels, rideshare apps, all pointing to a pattern. Then location data backs it up. Then shared calendar entries contradict their testimony. None of that required hacking. It came from financial records, cloud data, and device backups. The person walked into court thinking they had plausible deniability. They walked out with damaged credibility and a settlement that reflected that. Here's another pattern that shows up. A parent argues they're the primary caregiver and should have majority custody. The other parent's lawyer presents screen time data, social media posting patterns, and time-stamped activity logs. The argument becomes, they're not present. They're scrolling while the kids are trying to engage. Does that automatically win custody battles? No. But it can paint a narrative of distraction that's hard to counter, especially if there's no documentation of engaged parenting to balance it out. Quick warning before we go further. Do not access accounts that aren't yours. Do not start deleting things once divorce is on the table. Both can backfire catastrophically. Accessing accounts you don't own can be illegal. Deleting evidence can be framed as spoliation, destruction of evidence, and courts take that seriously. The move isn't to hide. The move is to stop generating new mess and preserve what matters. Your phone creates a discoverable trail. The question is, are you aware of what that trail might says about you? Now let's talk about something that catches people off guard. Something many people don't realize is a potential issue in divorce yet. AI companions, chatbots, online subscriptions, parasocial relationships. Here's what can happen. You're lonely, exhausted. Your spouse hasn't asked how your day was in months. So you start talking to an AI companion, ChatGPT, Replica, Character.ai. The AI listens, asks follow-up questions, validates your feelings, never interrupts, never criticizes. It feels like the first time someone's paid attention in years, and you start spending more time in those conversations than engaging with your family. You think, it's not real, it's just a chatbot, it doesn't count. But here's the reality. It's not automatically disqualifying, but it can become ammunition if paired with other patterns: neglect, spending, withdrawal. If your chat logs show you confiding in AI about your marriage problems, your frustrations, your fantasies, and those logs surface in discovery, they can be used to paint a picture. Not that you had an AI affair, but that you were emotionally checked out, that you withdrew, that you prioritized digital interactions over real engagement. Look at the time they spent talking to a chatbot instead of working on the marriage. Look at what they were saying while refusing to communicate with me. And if you're also spending money, subscriptions, premium features, tips to influencers, Patreon memberships, that financial trail adds to the narrative. It's not about whether the court thinks the relationship was real. It's about what the pattern suggests: withdrawal, misplaced priorities, financial decisions that don't align with your custody claims. The same logic applies to parasocial relationships. You're watching streamers. You're in Discord communities. You're commenting, subscribing, engaging. You feel like you have a connection, like they know you, but they don't. It's one way. And if your spouse can show that you're spending hours per day engaging with online personalities while being unavailable to your actual family, that becomes part of the story. Not because parasocial engagement is inherently problematic, but because in custody disputes, time and attention are examined. Where you spend your time reveals your priorities. And if your priorities appear to be online rather than with your children, that's a narrative their lawyer will build. So what to do? Audit where you're investing emotional energy and time. Ask yourself, where am I spending my time? What would my chat logs, subscriptions, or browsing patterns say about my focus? If this became part of discovery, what story would it tell? And if the answer is uncomfortable, adjust the behavior immediately. Because courts don't usually rule on whether you talk to AI. But your logs can be used to argue patterns of neglect, withdrawal, or misaligned priorities. It goes without saying, do not access accounts that aren't yours. Do not hack. Do not surveil. That can create serious legal problems for you. The goal is to manage your own digital footprint, not invade theirs. So here's what you do. 1. Freeze the mess. From today forward, stop generating new evidence. No angry texts, no sarcastic posts, no late-night venting that can be screenshot and stripped of context. 2. Secure your accounts. Change passwords. Enable two-factor authentication. Separate shared logins. Do not access anything that isn't yours. 3. Preserve, don't purge. Do not start deleting things once divorce is on the table. That can be framed as destruction of evidence. If something matters, export it. Download your own texts, social media data, bank statements. Preserve what you need. Don't erase. 4. Go low-tech. Treat written communication like it will be read aloud in court. If you need to say something emotional, don't put it in writing. Call. Meet in person. Keep it verbal. Keep it civil. 5. Phone down with kids. When you're with your children, put the phone down. Build a simple log of activities. School, meals, homework, bedtime, not paranoia, documentation. 6. Audit digital habits. If you're confiding in AI, spending on subscriptions, or deep in parasocial engagement, assume it could surface. Keep it appropriate, keep it minimal, or redirect that energy towards strategic rebuilding of your new life. Your phone creates a trail. Make sure that trail supports your case, not theirs. If you're navigating this and thinking, I need a system to track and manage all of this, you're right. AJ created a free guide. Don't get steamrolled. Your first 3 moves after they declare divorce. It walks you through the first actions to take when separation hits. Link in the description. And if you need more, the Divorce Command Center includes Divorce Action Tracker, track communications, document events, log parenting time, asset and debt inventory, shared custody calendar, scripts for high-stakes conversations. Your phone creates a discoverable trail. Make sure you're the one controlling the narrative. This is Doc Madney. I'll see you in the next video.